Should I take money out of my health savings account, or a lot of people refer to it as HSA, or should I just leave it and let it grow?
Yeah, this is actually quite interesting. And so I've got a visual here. We can talk about, what you can put in there. And so these are some of the limits that are happening from the last couple of years as to what you can contribute. So HSA, Health Savings Account, is actually quite unique because whatever you have in there can grow tax free.
Mm-hmm.
And now, and more, they're having HSAs that allow you to kind of pick different investments. Not all of them, but so you could theoretically have some stock market investment gains over a long period of time that grow completely tax free. And then the other part that's very, very unique is that you actually get it as a write off also. So if I put in $5,000, I don't have to put that on my tax return.
Yep.
So that's pretty unique. There's only, one other thing I can think about like that. A couple of the 529 state plans work that way. But the criteria then is, though, I have to take the money out to spend it on medical costs. And there's, different things that they call medical costs. But one of the strategies that should be thought about here is the possibility of accumulating money in the HSA, which almost nobody thinks about. Most people put it in, and then they take it out to pay that year's medical costs.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll even say, "Hey, I think I might have $5,000 this year. I'm going to put in 5,000." And they take out 5,000 by the end of the year. And what they're doing though is they're missing out on tax-free growth.
Yep.
Now, some people don't have a choice. If you don't have excess money that you can save, then that's what you should do. If I don't have excess money, but if I put in 5,000 and I can pay my $5,000 cost with other monies outside the HSA, now I can let it grow. Maybe that turns into 6,000 or 7,000 or 8,000, and you could really make that grow until retirement. And then you get in retirement. Now you got this pool of money that is available to help you pay your medical costs, deductibles. I've even heard that you can pay your Medicare cost itself directly using your HSA. And you've got this retirement benefit that's growing tax-free. And I've seen people with over $100,000 in their HSA heading into retirement. It's very powerful. I mean, really, really neat.
Yeah, and this is one tidbit you can pass along to your children or your grandchildren is if you're a younger age, most likely your medical expenses will be lower. And that's when you kind of could utilize these HSAs. And then I recommend that you let them grow until your retirement. And even if you put a little bit of money, it can grow into a massive sum just by compounding interest.
Oh, it's incredible. So, I mean, obviously you always want to maximize your 401k match. So whatever, if you're at a company that has a 401k and they have a match, put enough money in there to get that match because that's 100% rate of return on that. So that's really, really powerful. But then maybe look at the HSA also. Not everybody has them, right? You have to have a program at work. And if you do have one, it's worth looking at in terms of another place to start to kind of get some money in. It can only be used for medical expenses, and if you happen to get into retirement and not need it, that could be a waste. But I haven't seen that happen, honestly, because medical expenses are pretty, like death and taxes. They're kind of nearly a certainty. Just deductibles on prescriptions and things along those lines are enough to kind of eat into a lot of areas.
Yeah, and so HSAs, you're only eligible if you're in a high deductible health plan. So you have to know which insurance you're actually picking for the year. So when you enroll, it usually says this is an HSA eligible insurance or something like that to let you know that you can do it.
I saw a report from Fidelity last year that said that the average person will spend $237,000 during their retirement on medical costs. And so think about that. If you had that, for example, in an HSA program, you could pay it all tax-free. Because otherwise, during retirement, you're paying that $237,000 mostly without any write-off. Because in order to get a write-off of medical costs, you have to spend so much per year. And that can happen, right, in long-term care. And I do have some clients that are getting write-offs. But wouldn't it be nice to have a big chunk of money in an HSA program to kind of offset that for somebody's retirement? Because now it's growing tax-free. I can take it out tax-free for those expenses. So really, really powerful concept. I don't think it's enough information out there about as far as that goes.